So what was said in today's Fed meeting? What's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I hope that you learned something new, and if you're new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe, and I hope that I earned your thumbs up. So we actually live streamed the Fed meeting. I'm not too sure if you actually tuned on in for the live stream. There's a lot of excitement. That's actually when I started to trade TQQQ, and in this video I'm going to try to make it super short, super sweet, and let's just actually get right to it. So what was said during the Fed meeting, really everything that we were anticipating. There was nothing that was said based off of how the market reacted that we were not anticipating, which is actually progress, right? Because almost time and time again, anytime anything is said, and even if it's just a little bit worse than we anticipated, because these things are already factored into the market, it tends to drive the market down even further. One of the things that I actually wanted to share with you guys is I'm going to be talking about my TQQQ position, which follows the NASDAQ market. We killed it today. So I didn't make a ton of money. I still walked away with $2,000. And if you tuned on into today's live session, during the Fed meeting, I was actually trading live, and that's actually where I made most of my money today because that's all I was waiting for. I want to share with you the specific levels and why I'm not holding TQQQ. As you can see, I only have one share of TQQQ, but during that live session, I think I had over 1,000 shares if I'm not mistaken. I'm very grateful how I was able to get in and get out within 30 minutes, really 45 minutes from entry to exit, and walk away with over $2,000 profit. Is that not the goal? The goal is always to be efficient. So I'll actually just quickly show you guys. On the 1 day, 1 minute chart, when we began to see the market actually indicate signs of an uptrend, let me go ahead and adjust this. So the market sold off very quickly, anticipating the actual meeting. And as soon as he began to speak, within the first 5 minutes, he was pretty much done speaking. He said what he needed to say, and then he just began to answer questions. That is when we began to see the overall market, the NASDAQ market, your tech stocks, and TQQQ begin to indicate signs of an uptrend. And guess what I began to do? I began to step on the gas. The more it began to indicate signs of an uptrend, the more I began to purchase. It pushed up, and then at a certain point, I began to reduce my position size at these overbought levels, and then I left a couple shares open. I think I had about 300 or 200 shares. I left it, and then I locked in profits, leaving myself with only one share, and then walking away with $2,100 profit. Now, was today a perfect day? Heck no. I mean, I'm not up $10,000, right? I'm not up $5,000. I'm up $2,000. I feel like for the time that I invested of trading for 45 minutes, it definitely wasn't bad, right? I made use of my time. I made use of the opportunity. But why did I not hold TQQQ? If the market's beginning to recover, why am I not holding it? Again, one thing that I need you to understand is, unlike other people on YouTube, I am never going to convince you that what I do is something that you should do. I like to explain why I do something, because it's not just about the profit that I get to walk away with, but I want you to understand the thought process behind that trade. So based off of the past 2.5 months, literally, the NASDAQ market has been selling off. It is to be said that things are getting better, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But with that being said, the past 2.5 months, if they've taught me anything, and you can share your thoughts down below, is that the market continues to get rejected by this EMA line. And again, the length of this EMA line is 30 EMA. And it's not just the indicator, but the actual direction of the overall market itself is bearish, at least for the past 2.5 months. It's been making lower highs and lower lows. If we begin to trade above this, then yes, I would have more confidence to then begin to hold my positions, as at least the market is now doing something that it hasn't been doing. But until then, direction is not in my favor. And let me ask you this, right? If you were to see that every time that it pulls back and then pushes up, it approaches the EMA line, it gets rejected. 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 It approaches the EMA line and then gets rejected. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? The market continues to get rejected. So is it out of character for me to not have the most confidence in a market that's been selling off for 2.5 months that it's going to get rejected again? It's not that the market can't push up. because just like we saw today, it can. And I can day trade that. I don't have to hold it overnight. I don't have to take on that risk. And that's what I feel comfortable doing. I'm taking a little bit more of a conservative approach. I'm trading if the direction is in my favor during the day, but not holding overnight because, well, based off of the past 2 months, we have this descending channel. And until proven otherwise, I don't want to hold it at these overbought levels. Now that I was the bearer of bad news, I'm saying that as of right now, the market's more at a resistance level. I would love to buy if it breaks above the EMA line. I'm excited. I hope the market recovers. I hope that we do something now that we haven't been able to do for the past 2.5 months. But I'm someone that will allow and wait for confirmation before forcing an entry and hoping that it actually does it. But with that being said, I actually want to talk about something that was actually very, very exciting today. The VIX, which is considered the fear index for the S&P 500. Anytime that there's market uncertainty, during 2020 for COVID, this thing went through the roof. And again, you can look back to any recession back in history. Anytime that there is uncertainty, this is considered the fear index. Volatility goes through the roof. Again, fear is in the market, and then the VIX shoots up. The reason that I'm talking about this is the VIX is actually beginning to retrace. It's beginning to pull back. It's beginning to come back to previous levels. And you can see that its previous levels are right around $15 to $17. The reason that this is exciting is that means less fear is now in the market, or at least fear is beginning to dissipate. This is great for the NASDAQ market. This is great for your long-term investments. This means that trust is being put back into the market. And if, again, my experience in the market has taught me anything, is that when markets recover, it's not that things automatically got better, but it's that markets, when they recover and fear begins to dissipate, the markets just naturally begin to recover and quite aggressively. So this is actually really good news. So although I'm deciding to lock in profits and play it safe right now, I'm telling you, if you're deciding to hold, all power to you. I want to encourage you to do what's best for what you think is best for your future self, right? We can all have different goals in place and still root for one another, right? And I feel like that's what I would like to do. I want you to be aware of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But I also want you to be aware of what's actually looking pretty good, and that's the VIX. Less fear in the market. It does look promising. It looks like the market's beginning to somewhat recover. A lot of great articles were released today. That's great, but I'm someone that has to see it happen, right? I don't know about you guys. Again, the past 2 months have been so bearish. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I don't want to be hopeful. I'm tired of getting my hopes up and then it ends up getting rejected. I've played it safe for the past 2.5 months. What's just a little bit more time? I would love to see the NASDAQ market break through that EMA resistance level and for the market to begin to recover. And if you agree, please make sure you smash that like button. So I'm very excited to follow up with our live trading session tomorrow. And if you guys would like to join us, again, I trade live every single morning at market open with my Learn Plan Profit group. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, click the second link down below right now, and you can actually get $100 off and join us as soon as tomorrow. That's actually one of our biggest sells. One of the last things that I want to remind you is that today and today only, by the time that this thing uploads, you're only going to have a couple of hours. We're running one of our biggest sales ever at shoptechbuds.com. You can buy any 2 trading mouse pads for $40. So again, if you want anything from the Wall Street Bull mouse pad, the Wall Street Bear, the Make Your Own Luck, any mouse pad, you get 2 for $40. So again, make sure you head on over to shoptechbuds.com, and this will also automatically enter you towards our giveaway, earning you 200 points. And again, that's that 4th link in the description down below. I really do appreciate you guys' time. I'm excited to see you in tomorrow's live trading session. And again, I hope that it earned your thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.